General Hospital spoilers. Jason attacks Drew, revealing the big secret to get Danny out of prison. The episode opens with a harsh metallic clang, the kind of sound that makes every inmate in Pentonville tense up. The hallway outside cell block C is flooded with heavy footsteps, correctional officers making their routine checks. But inside one dimly lit cell, Danny Morgan sits on the edge of his cot, his hands clenched so tightly his knuckles are white. Danny had been behind bars for 3 weeks now, the result of a trumped-up murder charge that most of Port Charles believes is bogus. Even the residents who aren't exactly fond of Jason or Sam can't believe that Danny, barely out of his teenage years, could commit such a crime. But the evidence was airtight. A murder weapon with Danny's fingerprints, security footage showing someone wearing his clothes, and a witness claiming they saw him at the scene. The truth? Someone set him up, and Jason knows exactly who. Over at the Harborview Towers penthouse, Jason sits alone at the kitchen table, staring at an empty whiskey glass. His face is unreadable, but his eyes are sharp, calculating. Sam has been begging him for weeks to work with the lawyers, to trust the system. But Jason's never been a believer in letting the system decide his family's fate. The phone rings. He doesn't move. It rings again. Finally, he answers. Sam, voice trembling, they're transferring Danny to maximum security next week. Jason, they'll eat him alive in there. You can't just sit there. Jason, quietly, I'm not sitting. I'm making sure the real killer doesn't have a chance to hurt him again. Sam, what are you talking about? Jason, click, he hangs up. Jason's jaw tightens. In his mind, there's only one way to save Danny now, and it starts with confronting Drew Kane. Meanwhile, at the Quartermain mansion, Drew is nursing a scotch of his own. He's been on edge since the night Danny was arrested. Every time Monica or Ned brings up the case, he changes the subject. There's a reason for that. Drew knows more than he's letting on. In fact, Drew has a dangerous piece of information that could clear Danny, but revealing it would destroy his own life. The secret? The night of the murder, Drew was at the scene before the police arrived. He found the real killer, someone connected to a classified Navy SEAL operation from his past, and helped cover it up in exchange for protecting an old military ally. The catch? That ally is also the son of a high-ranking WSB operative, meaning if Drew talks, he blows open an international scandal. It's late at night when Jason shows up at Drew's office at Aurora Media. Drew's sitting at his desk, reviewing stock reports, when Jason walks in unannounced. Drew, what the hell are you doing here? Jason, we're done pretending. You know who killed that man. And you're letting my son rot in prison for it. Drew, shaking his head, you don't understand what's at stake. Jason, I understand that you're a coward. Drew stands, his voice rising. Drew, this isn't about cowardice. It's about national security. If I open my mouth, people die. Not just me. Innocent people, Jason. Jason, Danny's innocent. That's all that matters to me. The air is electric. For a moment, they just stare each other down, old resentments bubbling to the surface. Everything from Drew's resentment over losing Scout to Jason's bitterness about Drew living his life during the memory swap years. The tension finally snaps. Jason slams the door shut, locking it from the inside, then lunges across the desk. His fist connects with Drew's jaw so hard that Drew stumbles back into a bookshelf. Papers scatter. Drew, gritting his teeth, you think beating me up will change anything? Jason, no. But maybe it'll remind you what happens when you betray family. Jason grabs Drew by the collar and shoves him against the wall. Jason, tell me who it is. Tell me who killed him, and I'll make sure your hands stay clean. Drew, you can't protect me from this, Jason. These aren't mob guys. These are people with power you can't even imagine. Jason's grip tightens. Jason, I've dealt with worse. Finally, Drew's composure cracks. His voice is low, urgent. Drew, it's Jake. Jason freezes. Jason, what? Drew, not your Jake, not your son. Jake was the codename of a covert operative in my old SEAL unit. Real name's Nolan Graves. He's the one who killed that guy Danny's accused of killing. He set Danny up because he knew it would keep me quiet. If I expose him, I expose everything. The missions, the Black Ops, the fact that the WSB authorized assassinations on U.S. soil. Jason, let's go, stepping back in disbelief. Jason, you've been protecting this guy while my son sits in prison? Drew, if I didn't, the fallout could start an international incident. Jason, then I guess I'll have to end this before anyone knows. Later that night, Jason meets with Spinelli at a backroom table in Pozzolos. Spinelli, always the loyal hacker, is already booting up his laptop. Spinelli, so, let me get this straight. You want me to find a ghost? Someone with no official record, buried in Black Ops files. Jason, I don't need his file. I just need his location. Spinelli, a personal visit. Dare I assume this will be a one-way trip for Mr. Graves? Jason, you don't need to assume anything. Just find him. Meanwhile, Drew's pacing the Quartermain study, wrestling with what he's just done. He knows Jason well enough to realize Jason won't hesitate to eliminate Nolan Graves. And if that happens, Drew's hands will be just as bloody. Monica walks in, sensing his tension. Monica, Drew, what's going on? You've been jumpy for days. Drew, just business stress. Monica, this isn't about business, is it? It's about Danny. Her voice is soft, but it cuts through him. Monica, if you know something, you have to help him. Jason may be his father, but your family too. Drew can't meet her eyes. The next day, Spinelli tracks Nolan Graves to a safe house outside Port Charles, an abandoned farmhouse by the Finger Lakes. Jason gears up with quiet precision, black jacket, gloves, a sidearm tucked under his belt.
But Drew isn't far behind.
He's been tailing Jason ever since their confrontation, determined to stop him from doing something irreversible. When Jason arrives at the farmhouse, he moves like a shadow, slipping through a side window. Inside, Nolan is cleaning a rifle at the kitchen table. Nolan, without looking up, Morgan, took you long enough. Jason, you framed my son. Nolan, your kid was just in the wrong place at the wrong time. Consider it collateral damage. Jason's hand twitches toward his gun, but that's when Drew bursts in. Drew, stop. Jason, if you kill him, the WSB will come after you and Danny. You'll make it worse. Jason, if I don't, Danny's life is over. Nolan, smirking, maybe you should listen to your brother. I'm the only one who can make this all go away. Jason, no. You're the only one who deserves to disappear. The tension is unbearable. Drew tries to reason with Jason, but Nolan pushes it too far, taunting Jason about all the people he's lost. Jason lunges, but instead of shooting, he slams Nolan to the ground, zip-tying his wrists. Jason, you're going to Pentonville, and you're going to confess on record. Here's where it all turns. Jason doesn't bring Nolan to the PCPD. Instead, he calls Robert Scorpio, giving him the choice: take Nolan into WSB custody and quietly undo Danny's conviction, or Jason goes public with everything. Robert, recognizing the political nightmare, reluctantly agrees. Within 48 hours, Danny's conviction is vacated and he's released from Pentonville. But Robert warns Jason. Robert, you've just made yourself a target for the WSB. They don't like men who know too much. Danny's homecoming is bittersweet. Sam's relieved, but she's furious that Jason risked his life and went behind her back. Drew's distant, knowing Jason now has leverage over him and that their already fragile relationship may never recover. And somewhere, deep within WSB headquarters, a new file is opened. Subject: Jason Morgan. Termination recommended.